Real Madrid arrives at a season crossroads because injuries have turned the club's defensive plans into a series of urgent questions, and the answers will shape their next few months. The spine of the backline that Xabi Alonso imagined when assembling this squad has been fractured. Antonio Rudiger remains out with a persistent muscle problem that has kept him off the pitch and away from the lineup, leaving a gap in the centre of defence that the coach cannot ignore. At right back, the situation becomes even more pressing. Dani Carvajal has picked up a calf issue and is facing roughly a month on the sidelines, and Trent Alexander-Arnold is also unavailable, which together leave Alonso without his regular options on the right. With both full-back slots and a key centre-back weakened, the manager faces a choice: gamble on makeshift solutions, accelerate youth players into the limelight, or turn to a familiar face who has been waiting in the treatment room. Ferland Mendy is that familiar face. He hasn't featured since the Copa del Rey final in April, where an early withdrawal ended his campaign, but recent training reports suggest the French international is progressing in his recovery and edging closer to full involvement. That sequence, match absence, surgery and slow rehabilitation, has made his return feel overdue, and now it could come at a moment when Real Madrid needs every fit body it can muster. If Mendy steps back into the squad, the tactical implications are immediate and intriguing. He is primarily a left back, a player whose strengths have always been more comfortable on the flank he naturally occupies, strong, direct, and with a physical edge. Asking him to slide across and operate on the opposite side is no simple switch. It changes angles of approach, passing lanes and defensive responsibilities. But in an emergency, Alonso has to prioritise stability and experience. Internally, converting Mendy to the right would buy time. It would patch the hole left by Carvajal's absence and reduce the need to rush a young player into a pressure cooker of Champions League nights and high-stakes La Liga fixtures. It also minimises structural risk compared with reshaping the centre-back pair mid-season while Rudiger remains out. There are tactical trade-offs. The ball progression and inverted runs a natural right-back offers won't be replicated by a left-footed defender playing on the right. Yet for immediate containment, Mendy's physicality and experience could be the shorter path back to defensive cohesion. Beyond tactics, there is also a psychological story unfolding. A returning senior pro lifts dressing room morale, and when fans see a known warrior back in training vests, the collective stress of a crisis eases a knot. Conversely, if an experiment fails, if Mendy's switch leave space is exposed or if his conditioning isn't yet at match sharpness, then Alonso will face criticism for a gamble that costs points. The manager's calendar makes the decision sharper. Important fixtures cluster close together, and there is no time to slowly rebuild certainty. Whether it's a must-win European night or a heavyweight domestic clash, the coming weeks feel like an exam of Alonso's crisis management. The club could also opt for rotation, shifting Valverde in emergency roles, or accelerating the development of youngsters. But each path carries its own perils in a calendar that leaves little margin for error. Finally, the stakes are both immediate and long-term. If Mendy returns and stabilises the backline, Real Madrid can ride out this painful blip and refocus on the title race and European ambitions. A successful stopgap would also buy Alonso breathing room to reconfigure the defence without panic. If the attempt fails, those same fixtures could snowball into a losing run that erodes confidence and forces more drastic changes in January. For fans and neutrals alike, the next selections will feel decisive. Are we watching a club that can adapt and survive through internal solutions, or do these injuries expose a fragility that must be fixed by transfers and wholesale changes? The answer is imminent, and whether it comes via Mendy's comeback, a tactical reshuffle, or the rise of a young replacement, Xabi Alonso's reputation as a manager who can steer Real Madrid through storms will be tested in the weeks to come.